Arnauld Markou Menkoande, the defender who does much more than defend in football. Some players simply defend. They win their duels. They clear the danger. They protect their goal. But others do much more. They give their teammates confidence. They bring balance to the team. They read the game before it happens. And sometimes they become the first point of departure for an attack. Markou Menkoande belongs to that second category. At 29 years old, the Cameroonian defender has built a reputation around three fundamental qualities: strength, intelligence, and consistency. Standing at 6'3", Arnauld has the physical presence of a modern center back. But what makes him interesting is what comes after the physical side of his game. Because behind the strength, there is thought. Behind the duel, there is anticipation. And behind the defensive action, there is often the beginning of something more. These images do not tell the whole story of Arnauld Markou Menkoande. They are not a complete record of his career. They are simply a window into one chapter of his journey. 3 matches, a selection of moments, a few minutes of football captured in Timor-Leste. But sometimes, a few moments are enough to reveal the identity of a player. Watch him closely. When the ball enters his zone, there is no unnecessary movement. He observes. He calculates. He waits. And then, he acts. In the air, his size becomes an advantage. In physical challenges, he is difficult to move. In one-on-one situations, his positioning allows him to reduce the opponent's options. But defending is not simply about winning a tackle. It is about preventing the situation from becoming dangerous in the first place. And that requires something that cannot always be measured by statistics: game intelligence. Arnauld reads the movement of the players around him. He anticipates the next pass. He closes the space. He steps forward when necessary. And when the ball is recovered, his role does not end. It changes. Build-up play, passes from defense, long balls, forward distribution. This is where another important part of his profile appears. Arnauld Markou Menkoande is not only a defender. He is also a player capable of contributing to the construction of the game. Whether operating as a center back or as a defensive midfielder, he has the technical qualities to help his team progress with the ball. Short passes, long distribution, forward passes, changes of play, and above all, composure. Because when a defender remains calm under pressure, the entire team can breathe. One controlled pass can break the first line of pressure. One accurate long ball can change the direction of an attack. One decision can transform defense into offense in just a few seconds. Several successful actions. And this ability is not something that appeared overnight. It is the result of experience. Arnauld was born in Cameroon, a country with a deep football culture and a long tradition of producing strong, technically gifted defenders. But his career has taken him far beyond Cameroon. Turkey, Ukraine, Bolivia, Poland, different countries, different football cultures, different tactical demands, different environments. Each experience has its own challenges. Each league demands adaptation. And for a footballer, adaptation is one of the greatest tests of professionalism. New teammates, new coaches, new languages, new tactical systems, new expectations. Yet Arnauld has continued to build his career through those experiences. And today, that international background is part of what defines now. Another chapter is being written in Timor-Leste. And once again, the numbers tell part of the story. 12 consecutive appearances, 1,080 minutes on the pitch, and 4 assists. 12 matches, 12 opportunities to demonstrate consistency, 1,080 minutes of commitment, and 4 assists from a player whose primary responsibility begins in defense. Those numbers tell us something important. Arnauld is not simply present on the field. He is involved in the game. And that involvement is visible in the way he plays. He does not always need to make the spectacular action. Sometimes the most important contribution is the simple one: the right position, the right pass, the right decision, the right communication. Football is often decided by moments that happen before the final action, and experienced defenders understand that. Organizing teammates, communication. There is also another dimension to Arnaud's game. Leadership. On the pitch, the defender sees the game from a different perspective. He sees the spaces. He sees the danger developing. He can see teammates who may not see what is happening behind them. That is why communication is so important, and Arnauld uses that responsibility. He organizes. He communicates. He reassures. He guides. He helps create structure. And when the team is under pressure, that sense of stability becomes even more important. A good defender can win a duel. A great defender can make the players around him better. That is the difference between simply playing a position and taking responsibility for a team. Arnaud's profile reflects that responsibility. He can stay at the back. He can step into midfield. He can win the ball. He can distribute it. He can support the transition. And when necessary, he can simply put his body between the opponent and the goal. Perhaps that is what truly sets him apart. For Arnauld Markou Menkoande, defending and building are not two separate missions. They are two sides of the same game. Defend, recover, build, progress, repeat. His international journey has taught him to adapt. His experience has given him maturity, and his football continues to demonstrate an essential truth. A great defender is not only the player who prevents the opposition from playing. He is also the player who allows his own team to play better. Interceptions, /passes, /aerial duel, /recovery. That is why these 3 matches in Timor-Leste are more than just a compilation. They are a glimpse of the physical presence, a glimpse of the technical ability, a glimpse of the tactical intelligence, a glimpse of the leadership, and above all, a glimpse of a player whose story extends far beyond the 90 minutes we see on screen. 29 years old, 1.90 meters tall, a left-footed defender, a Cameroonian, an international football journey, a player who has experienced different football cultures and continues to write his story on new pitches. Because sometimes, the true engine of a team is not found in the final third. Sometimes, it starts at the back, with the player who sees the danger first, the player who wins the duel, the player who makes the pass, the player who gives his teammates confidence, the player who turns defense into attack. Arnaud, walking / looking toward the pitch / final action. His name is Arnauld Markou Menkoande, and this is only one chapter of his story.